Hello and welcome to Sports Central. I'm Neal Duncan. We got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to talk box lacrosse, some college football, and a fantastic cycling event. Stick around, everybody, for this week's edition of Sports Central. Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central on a steamy Friday afternoon, but September. What do you expect? Neal Duncan alongside Gerald, Richardson, and this is the second time we've done the show together.
Round two.
You got a chance with Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, a little different, but
you can say it. You prefer. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll keep it at that. We'll just say different.
Well, this first segment, we're excited for this first segment. We got a great sponsor.
Yeah, first segment brought to you by Cleveland Heights Golf Course there in Lakeland. Get out and see the guys at the Heights, and course is in really good shape now, what I hear. So
it really is.
See them.
I see a lot of it with my golf game. Left, right, never down the middle.
Army golf.
That's right. Well, with our first segment here on Sports Central, of course, it is September. That means the return of high school football as well as college football. Last night, the Buccaneers won their first game of the season on Thursday Night Football, and we're glad to have back on Sports Central joining us now the head coach of Southeastern University football, Cesar Rivas. Coach Rivas?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Glad to have you back, and boy, everything's back to normal, right?
It's the new normal.
That's right.
I think we were joking around about this. I don't know what Southeastern football is like without COVID. So it's been back-to-back years, and we're plugging away and trying to give the fans something fun to watch on Saturdays.
Well, I think that's an important point that you just made there, that some of the college conferences played in the spring last year, but Southeastern chose to play in the fall. And I believe it was, 5-1,
yes,
ended
sir.
up getting 6 games in. Yep. So you go through what seems to be the normal schedule per se,
right.
But right out of the gate, first home game, season opener, all those things canceled.
Home opener this year. Unfortunately, we got the phone call Thursday afternoon before the home opener on Saturday that the other team had been going through some COVID issues, and so the first game got canceled. So we went from 11 game schedule to 10 right off the bat. So, but our guys have been awesome. Coach has been great, and so everybody keeps plugging away and forging ahead. So it's the people are making it great. Still making it great. Still out there practicing, running around. Still got a game in last week, so it's been good so far.
Wow, awesome. For this season, what's kind of your laid out expectations? Year two, well, I guess we could say year 1.5 maybe.
Yeah.
But expectation with your schedule, your team coming back. I think it looks like you got a lot of returners this year, right. And kind of what you see forecasted for the Fire football.
Well, I think for first and foremost, we just have an opportunity to get some games under our belt. Last year on a modified schedule, we knew we were only going to get maximum was going to be 8 or 9 games, and then we ended up getting in 6 on the docket. This year we had 11, trying to get in as many opportunities for playing as we can. And we had 6 on the docket for at home, trying to give our fans something to come behind and enjoy the campus life for our students. So that's really kind of the first thing that we're trying to do is get everybody to just have a following and somehow shout about and have capacity crowds and not the 50% stuff. And but we do have one thing that COVID did do for us was it provided a lot of opportunity for a lot of different guys to play. So some guys are out on quarantine, some guys are isolated, so another guy steps up, and it was just kind of this revolving door at different positions all season long. And so we've got a lot of those guys back to do the same thing this year. And so just want to see a lot of progress. Every time we're out on the football field, we talk about going 1-0. We're always striving for a championship, and conference championship, national championship. But the first thing, we got to take care of business every week. And we don't know, along with COVID, you just don't know how many games you have. So you don't take them for granted. And so every week you just go and try to win that ball game every Saturday.
I live in Bartow High School person, big Yellow Jacket supporter, and Coach Tate, who's the head football coach there at Bartow, said last year, even through COVID, it was the least amount of stress he's felt in the season because he knew at the end of the year they were in the playoffs. So he didn't have to worry about it. Knowing what was in front of you, COVID aside,
right.
But knowing what was in front of you and maybe not some of the stressors of the regular season in its normalcy, Was there some of that last year for you, or was it the constant grind of trying to figure out whether you're playing or anything like that?
I think for us, it was just really trying to embrace every week as kind of just a new opportunity to play,
Right.
and trying to give the kids a great experience. And so trying to keep them enjoying their day and have it be positive. I think that was just something we really embraced, and then let the winning take care of itself on any given Saturday. So that's kind of what we embraced last year. But this year, something where we're really plugging ahead. I think the expectation now is expect the unexpected. Mm-hmm. So instead of kind of bobbing and weaving like we did last year, maybe some moving targets, now we're just forging ahead, and if we're going to play on Saturday until somebody tells us no, and that's how we kind of take it.
Yeah.
I know Drew and the guys there at Southeastern were great, and in regards to thankful to be able to bring you on to Southeastern, and I've coached a lot D1, D2, D3, NAIA, all the way across the board. What is it that drew you to Southeastern and coming to Lakeland?
Well, you brought up Drew and the other administrative staff. It was really the people. I was sitting in Southern California, which is home for me, and they picked up the phone and actually came out, and Drew Watson, athletic director, came out there and visited, and I didn't even know where Lakeland was on a map, and never heard of Southeastern University before outside of the one in Louisiana, and they were awesome. And I said, well, shoot, if they care that much about this place, I've really got to go check it out. And so when I came out here and brought my family, everybody fell in love with it, and just one thing led to another, and it was really a God thing at the end of the day. It was just something that really moved my family and I, and we haven't regretted it a second since.
Yeah, that's terrific. All I hear you saying is Drew wanted to go on a trip to Southern California. He ended up with a really good head coach out of it.
He was craving some In-N-Out. Right. Definitely, I'm not going to lie that first lunch was at In-N-Out. It was at In-N-Out.
Well, there you go. There you go. Well, we mentioned earlier that the first home game was canceled. You found out on a Thursday and was supposed to take place on a Saturday. Typically, those first home games are an appointment. Yeah, it's an appointment with an opponent that's a little bit of a tune-up before you go play someone like a Faulkner. That didn't get to happen. You had to go to Alabama. You had to play a very good Faulkner team. Mm-hmm. Talk to us a little bit about that game and maybe reasons why Southeastern wasn't victorious, and then what you're going to be able to apply to your next game.
Well, I think the key thing at any beginning of the season, you say there's so much growth between week 1 and week 2. It's the most amount of growth that your team will ever make. So it doesn't really matter who you're playing, up, down, across, doesn't matter. That growth between week 1 and week 2, because you finally get to see what it's like to hit somebody else at game speed, and really get to evaluate everything on film truly in all aspects for the very first time. And so for us, that's what we were able to do at the end of Faulkner. We're just very detailed in going through all the film and all the personnel, and our guys playing in the right places, and are we coaching it right? Are we lack of execution? What's going on here? And so we're able to really kind of break everything down, and we hit into the bye week. So we're going to go beat the heck out of the bye week right now, and get a lot better. And for us, it couldn't come at a better time in that segue between week 1 and week 2 opponent for us. And that's really what we're trying to do. Just trying to get better every day, grow. Our issues in our first game were holding on to the football. We had some turnover issues and scoring in the red zone, and then being able to create more turnovers on defense. At the end of the day, it's all about possessions, right? Mm-hmm. So even you look at the game last night, and it comes down to possessions, and they kept talking about whoever has the football last is probably going to win this football game. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create more possessions for our offense, and the more opportunities we do that, the more successful we'll be.
You were talking about that game last night. I was just hoping, like, middle of the third quarter, can we just go ahead and 2 possessions? Let's just cut through the next hour of this game time.
Yeah.
But no, it's great stuff.
Speaking of your team, kind of what's the makeup of your team? What's your team defined by? You'll get some teams that's a run and gun offense and pure offense, and you got other teams, through the years that are built on defense, and that's their strong point. What for fans that are going out this year to Fire games, what can they expect to come to the game and see out of your team this year?
I love that question, because I think it changes every week a little bit for us. We're a multiple offense, so you might come on out and see us in 10 personnel on 1 or 2 plays or through a drive, but then we're going to base out of 11 personnel, and we're going to run the football. We're built up front right now. I like a few of our running backs, really like a few of our running backs. Brian Bell, Lauren Parker, Sean Brown, some real heavy hitters. We got a young kid in there that I think might shock somebody here or there towards the end of the season when he starts really getting understanding the grasp of the offense. We have some playmakers on the edge, but we're built up front right now. Our quarterback understands the game, and he really starting to take a firm grasp on the offense right now. So we've kind of letting him roll. So it's the exciting part. You're going to see us run the football and set up our deep ball where we will stretch the field. And then on defense, we're built up front over there as well. And so if we can slow down the run, stop the run, create turnovers over there, I think we'll be great. And so got to play great on special teams, no matter what. Got to play great on special teams. And so because if you don't, it'll come back and nip you in the rear end, and you'll be paying for it a little bit later. So we've got to make sure that we secure that up.
Next home game against Thomas More on September 18th. Is that a 1 o'clock? Or is
That's
that
going to be 7
time?
7
Okay,
o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock game time. Yep.
Fireworks out of the scoreboard.
Every time we score, so hopefully
right.
there's a lot of them. Keep ringing that bell.
Do you ever have? Do you hope to have the conversation with Drew one day? Be like, listen, you got to slow down a little bit. You're really cutting into the athletic budget with the amount of pyrotechnics that we're having to supply.
Just as long as we still get ours, I'm a happy camper.
Well, Coach, we have to. I like to do this with all coaches because I know they don't like to answer the question. But any predictions for this season?
You asked me the same thing last year.
I know.
Last year I said we'll be as good as our health goes and as quickly as we can galvanate as a team, and that's really what I truly believe that. I think we have a real high ceiling right now with the returning guys, but like I said, it depends on who's playing on any given week with the situation that we're in right now. But I know we have a great ceiling right now. We've got a lot of talented players.
I meant to ask, and I got ahead of myself here, but playoffs and
Mm-hmm.
what is the structure this season for conference play and playoffs?
So conference play is as usual, and so is playoffs. Everything's back to normal.
Okay.
So they'll take the top 16 teams, and then we'll rock and roll. And if we're in the top 16, we'll make it to the playoffs, and it's one and done, just like it is every year. So that's kind of what it's looking like right now.
Okay. All right. Well, Coach, we appreciate it so much, and maybe we can get you back before next year. We'll get
There
you
we
on a
go.
little sooner.
There
Maybe
we go. Coming out and catch a ball game.
That's right. Oh, I've been out there. It's really good stuff, and we say it all the time that you can support. If you're Florida State,
Right.
Miami, any of the schools. Well, beautiful thing about technology is you can record it and you can turn off those notifications on your phone. You can go out and see Warner, Weber, Southeastern, support local
Right.
college football, and then go watch your other game.
No, that's the big ticket. It's just support the local colleges out here and those student athletes that work so hard and go to school, and they're laying it all out there on Saturday afternoons.
Well, we certainly know that Polk County is a hotbed of talent, and that continues into the college ranks with our 3 college teams. So
Yes,
once
sir.
again, Coach, good luck this year, and we look forward to having you back on Sports Central.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, speaking of talent, the last 2 Januaries, we've had Team USA. That's right. The softball Olympic team has trained at Florida Southern College last year before the Olympics got postponed to this year. So then they came back to Polk County. Anyways, we're out there. We got some footage. Check it out. Team USA. Gerald and Neal, be right back on Sports Central.
This is a pretty special team. You've got 18 really phenomenal people that play softball. And so if you can get the best 18 together and spend as much time as we're going to spend together over the next 220 days, it gives yourself a chance to win in the locker room and the dugout, which obviously is going to give you a chance to win on the ball field, and I think we have that.
Well, today was the first day, so this Olympic experience has been phenomenal. I mean, everyone, just the energy of everyone coming in yesterday, we all got together and we went to dinner together, and it was like we haven't been apart. So it was pretty exciting, and coming out today and being able to get on the field. And I mean, I'm from Michigan, so being outside on dirt, it feels good, ready to get it rolling.
Team physics, chemistry, dynamics, all of it right now is at a really, really high pitch right now. And I think that's because they've spent a lot of time together in the past 3-4 years, and now they've have a defined, objective, and that makes it a lot easier for athletes.
The experience with all of us, I mean, some of us, like I've played with Val and Mish since 2012, so it's been a minute. Some of the girls started in like 2013. I would say a good chunk of us have all played together for the last six years at least. Some actually played college ball together, so there's definitely a wide range. And but I mean, everyone's known each other, been in like the tryouts, just the USA family for a while now. So.
No, we probably have the most experienced team internationally that we've had in a long, long time. These guys have been playing international ball since 2011. They've been in a world. We have like 4 or 5 players that have been in world championships, 4 or 5 times at least. We have 2 Olympians that are on our team. So you've got a lot of players that have come to our program and played USA softball. It's very rare that you get to have an Olympic program without having experience, and we're fortunate that everybody on our team has had that experience.
Once Japan got announced that it was going to be in the Olympics, we've gone to Japan every year since. So I've been to Japan, and I played professionally in Japan. So I've been to Japan probably like 8 or 9 times, and just getting used to that culture and all of that. We've played in Italy, we've been to the Netherlands, like Canada, like we've been all over the place, Dominican, Puerto Rico. So we've gotten to experience a lot of things, and we're extremely fortunate to be able to travel all around the world and do what we love. So it's been out since 2008. This will be the first, 2020 is the first one since 2008. So that's huge. And in Japan, they love baseball and softball. So it's huge there. So it's exciting for it to be back then. It stinks that it's not going to be in, the next one in France, but it should get back in the one after that, hopefully. But it's not going to stop us. I feel like we gained so much momentum since 2008, kind of like took a little dip, and we've gained so much. Like, I don't see it going back down. I really think that the energy is there for the sport, and it's going to continue to grow. And right now we just partnered with the MLB, so I feel like that's going to help the energy. More people following softball. Everyone loves softball, so more people on board, and I think it's going to be great for the sport.
To all the young kids that aspire to be Olympians, to all the young kids that even aspire to get to college, and they have a dream to go to every level along the way, I think the best thing to talk about is if it's not fun, then forget it, okay? Because these players, every day they come out here, it's like the first time they put the uniform on. Not like play it as hard as you want because it's the last game and have that play it like you're a little girl. We've got 34-year-old women that are playing it like they're 6 years old playing, pony ball for the first time. And it's a game. And keep that in perspective and keep it positive and be at it. And the next part about our game, if it doesn't work today, it's going to work tomorrow. Just keep at it. Just keep at it and have fun, man.
Organized. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Came back a little quicker than we thought. Sorry about that. Neal, Duncan, Gerald, Richardson, welcome back to Sports Central. And as we head into our second segment here, brought to us by the Holiday in Winter Haven, but some great footage there. Of course, the USA softball got the silver medal.
Yeah, that was a tough loss in the gold game.
Yeah, but still really dominant throughout until that one game, and they ran into a little bit of problem there. But pretty cool stuff to have them here. Of course, Polk County is a hotbed for softball.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say it's a hotbed
All
for
sports.
everything, for all
Yeah.
sports. That's why so many colleges come into Polk County to recruit. But pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we have always talked about with Polk County Sports Marketing that if it is morally or ethically sound, we will recruit it to Polk County. And we have a great event that has recently been recruited to Polk County that might be a little different than what you're used to, and that's Box Lacrosse. And joining us now with Box Lacrosse, Interstate Box Lacrosse Association is Brandon Scharaga. And Brandon, welcome to Sports Central.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
So to all the viewers at home, explain what in the world is Box Lacrosse?
Well, box lacrosse is, in my opinion, one of the fastest sports on 2 feet. It's in a rink, so very similar dimensions to a hockey arena, but without ice. You still use a lacrosse stick, just like you would outside in field lacrosse. But traditionally in Canada, box lacrosse is the national summer sport, and it's recognized across the country up there, and it's really popular up there, and now in the U.S. it's really starting to take off, and we're seeing that growth with the IBLA as we head into our 5th season of lacrosse in the U.S. indoors in the box.
Okay, so you have an event coming up at the RP Funding Center. So for those who have been to the RP Funding Center, it's essentially the same setup that you would see with the dasher boards, like for the Tropics when they play their indoor soccer. Is that similar?
Yeah, very similar. Indoor, the ball does not really leave the playing surface. It stays in play. There's a 30-second shot clock. And the RP Funding Center is really set up well for it, and that was one of the main reasons why we wanted to bring the event here, because it's a perfect venue for box lacrosse.
Wonderful. Well, this is, you guys is obviously your nationals tournament and national event. We got, I believe, 17 different regions, 17 different states represented coming to Lakeland. Talk a little bit about this national event, kind of the formatting, how it works in regards to how the team's qualified, how the nationals tournament's going to go in regards to pool play, if there's pool play, and then from there championship bracket and how it works out.
Yeah, so it all starts at the beginning of the summer. We have our 17 different regions, and the winner of each region then qualifies for nationals, and that's how we get our 17 teams. And they really come from every corner of the country, as far west as California and Oregon, and as far east and north as Maine, and of course there's a team here in Florida as well. And they get put into groups at nationals, and they go through group play, and then there's seedings, and you get put into your top 9 teams on Sunday is the final elimination rounds, and that's when Sunday gets really exciting, because you start to see the teams that really have that opportunity to win the national championship are doing everything they can to get to that point.
Yeah. So when did actually, in regards to the Interstate Box Lacrosse Association, obviously you talk about 17 regions and so forth, you know, how long ago did it start? How many regions did you start with? What has it grown to get to here?
You know, the first year we only had 2 teams. We started with 2 teams in Colorado. It was an opportunity for guys in Colorado to play competitive box lacrosse, and there's a core group of guys in the U.S. back then in 2016 that loved the game, were really passionate about it. But the tricky thing was it was hard to get to Canada and to spend a whole summer there. So the thought was, let's bring the same idea and the same competitiveness of what they're doing in Canada, but do it in the U.S. And that was 2 teams in 2016, and now here in 2021 we have about 47 teams. So
wow.
The game is growing a lot, the league is growing a lot, and it's because I think the players love the sport at the end of the day.
So what is the surface, the playing surface? Is it the concrete, or is it the carpeted, or what type of surface are they playing on?
So polished concrete is what the game is usually played on up north. So in the summertime, ice arenas, they'll take their ice out and they'll play box lacrosse. But in the U.S., there's a lot of facilities that have turf as well. So the game can be played on turf or concrete, and usually players prefer the best that suits their body. You know, some guys, they don't like to fall on the concrete, but other guys like to spin the ball on the concrete because it gives a real true bounce. So, but you can play the game on either surface.
Okay, and as we mentioned, RP Funding Center, September 17th through the 19th. You might sell more tickets if you just leave the ice down. Can we see what that looks like?
I mean, it would be interesting. It really would. But you know what? The one thing I think fans would really enjoy about the game is the physicality, the quickness, the pick and roll, and the ability to just see these players score in such tight areas. The goals are much smaller than you would see in field lacrosse, and the goalies are a lot bigger, but you still see a ton of scoring, and it's just really a remarkable athletic ability to be able to do that. So, you know, we are so excited to see new fans come, you know, to see box lacrosse for the first time here in Lakeland.
Speaking of Lakeland, what, you know, obviously with this year national tournament, could have gone anywhere in the country. What is it that, you know, Lakeland brought about that you guys wanted to bring your national championship right here into Lakeland at the RP Funding Center? What drew you here?
Well, we had a lot of responsibility when choosing the location because this year's tournament is actually the world's biggest box lacrosse tournament. So a lot of eyes were on it in regards to where it would be, and I think what made Lakeland special was the arena. RP Funding Center is gorgeous, and in the same parking lot as two hotels, so it's super convenient. It's in between Tampa and Orlando, and you know, you get to play box lacrosse with the palm trees. It doesn't get much better than that.
That's right. That is right.
We need to put you on staff. You're selling the destination perfectly. No, that's very exciting stuff. And just for the viewers at home, as they're thinking about it, maybe they know lacrosse, maybe they don't. You talked about a smaller, faster game, smaller goal, bigger goalies, if you will. What is the average speed that they're whipping that ball around? Like what kind of, I mean, it's fast paced. We've seen it, but just for those at home that maybe don't really know what we're talking about, what kind of speed are we talking about here?
I mean, picture somebody shooting a ball with their stick that's, you know, 90 to 100 miles per hour, and there's nothing to stop except your padding. So that's what the goalies go through. Yeah. And when you're just moving the ball around the offense, you know, to be able to just make a catch and feed the ball through an open lane, in a lot of ways, it can be like basketball where, because it is 5-on-5, but in some other ways it's also like hockey where, you know, you could get stick deflections and cause turnovers could be really costly. So I think the best way to put it is you need some really good hand-eye coordination, that's for sure.
Yeah, and of course you can go to rpfundingcenter.com to get tickets, and definitely want people to go out there. Are there local organizations or state organizations, so maybe somebody's at home, maybe they're interested in getting involved in lacrosse, or maybe even specifically box lacrosse, who do they reach out to, or who do they need to contact?
Well, we do have two teams here in Florida, the Tampa Bay Twisters, and that's the team that won the region, and then the Orlando Rockets. And both of those teams did a lot of recruiting, I would say, locally with guys that grew up playing in Florida, but also some that have moved down here from up north. And if there's a local player, you know, in the area, they should really reach out to either of those teams because, or even if they're in high school and they want to aspire to play after high school, I think it's a great opportunity to keep playing the game at a high level, which is what it's all about.
Super. Obviously, the event's next weekend. 17th through the 19th, Friday to Sunday at the RP Funding. For those that are looking for info on the box lacrosse and then, you know, tickets and so forth, where can they go to, you know, you guys maybe website that they can kind of look at and say, oh man, that does look pretty cool. I'm gonna head out and get, you know, where can they get information about the event?
Yep, so iblalacrosse.com/nationals. That's our site where we've got the schedule, we've got the details, the teams that are coming, and then obviously tickets at rpfundingcenter.com. And we've got a lot of really fun content on Instagram too, ibla.official. It's one of those types of events that brings people together from all over the country, so it's really special to capture that engagement.
Super Fantastic. Well, we appreciate it so much, and Brandon, thanks for coming in, and we look forward to checking out the event and for more events in the future at RP Funding Center and growing the sport here in Central Florida's Polk County.
Well, we appreciate it. We're so excited. Thanks.
All right. Well, just a unique event that's coming to Polk County, and there's a number of cycling events in Polk County that are pretty unique that we always enjoy. I think sometimes we take them for granted because we're in Polk County, but we are very blessed to have these. So we're going to take a look at some footage of the Channel Lake Cycling Classic before we have Trish Pfeiffer come on and talk to us about the Tour de Toe. He's Gerald, I'm Neal. We'll be right back here on Sports Central.
I'm out of West Palm Beach, race with my own shop that my friends own in Lake Park, Florida, and been racing for about 1.5 years now. Moved up to Cat 4 about 6 months ago in September, and I've got about 5 races under my belt as Cat 4, and just trying to get the technique down, trying to stay strong and healthy. It's very technical, which suits me very well, so I like that part of it. Oh, I'll come back next year. I mean, it's a great little town. I enjoyed the road race in Fort Meade there. It's quite good venue, except for the rain, but you can't control that.
I did my first Ironman when I was 19 in Panama City, Pensacola. And then I did Chattanooga last year. I got second place. So it was my first road race. I really enjoyed it. I did yesterday the road race in Chains of Lakes. And then here today, the time trial, unfortunately, that's my stronghold, and it got canceled because of the rain. But yeah, well, there's always next time. I'm racing Puerto Rico, then racing Texas, and hopefully qualify for Kona. But yeah, it was my first road race, so I'm thinking about just dropping tries and getting into road, becoming a roadie.
I'm from West Palm Beach, and we like coming up here. It's a beautiful town, and they treat us very well here. It's very nice. I've been racing for a good 35 years. I started when I was 12, racing in New York, and been racing all around the country for many years. I raced professional for about 8 years. Broke the American record for 50 miles back in 1982, and just love racing, love the lifestyle. Love the group of guys that we race with every weekend, and we like the places we go to race. Well, we do different types of races. This is what they call a criterium race, which is a short course, usually a mile or less. And the other races we do are road races, which are usually long distance races, which extend for about 50 to 100 miles. This race was only about 40 miles, so it's considered a short distance race. Won today, and my teammate took second, so we had an excellent day today.
Well, I've been racing bikes for probably somewhere around 7 or 8 years at this point. I race this circuit faithfully, religiously, raced on the national circuit. I've won a couple of national titles, and unfortunately it just becomes a little too repetitious, and so I swam in college, so I've kind of gone towards the triathlon route, which is why I've been away from cycling, so to speak. But it's always a really nice venue. The community comes out, safe, plenty of parking, good restaurants, and lots of spectators to make the race more exciting. Cheer you on. Well, the more technical a course is, the more important it is that you have good turning skills, and there's a lot of girls that do not do well at corners. If you can use them to your advantage, it's a really great way to break up the race, because girls are just not able to carry their speed through the corners. So the more technical courses, the easier it's going to be to blow the field apart, so to speak, and just make it a little bit more exciting of a race. Well, I had to pay a little bit of attention because those girls are both on the same team. So I've got to play, exactly what they wanted to happen did happen. One of them just went ahead and attacked, and I can't cover both attacks, and she got me. So they actually worked that exactly to their advantage, exactly how it's supposed to go. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the strength today to go ahead and bridge that last little bit of the gap.
Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. I'm Neal Duncan. That's Gerald Richardson. And do you do any cycling?
As little as I can.
I didn't say do you do exercise. I said do you do any cycling? Besides, that's my answer.
Riding up and down the street with my daughter from time to time. That's about the extent of it.
Okay. Well, we're very blessed to have some terrific roadways and some cycling areas and trails and all those things here in Polk County. And it's a great part of Polk County, but another great part of Polk County is the segment sponsor.
Yes, sir. Made Production, great partners, and appreciate those guys.
They've assisted us the last couple of years with the Polk County All Sports Awards and Hall of Fame induction ceremony, but they do a terrific job. Well, speaking of doing a terrific job, we're talking about cycling events, the Tour de Toe. It is certainly a labor of love for our next guest, Trish Pfeiffer. And Trish, welcome back to Sports Central.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
What year is this for the Tour de Toe?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Well, you should have the answer ready.
Well,
then.
I know, but it's kind of complicated. I was asked to take this over in 2008 when the original people that started it had a wedding. And so I said, okay, and not knowing what I was doing. I mean, literally knew nothing. My husband's a cyclist, and we had actually thought about doing some cycling events, but we got forced into it by this situation. And so I am a pretty good organizer, I guess, so got it figured out. And so it's been like 2008 that I inherited it. And it's the Blooming Bike Ride in March and the Tour de Toe in September. So it's two events.
Right.
And so since 2008.
So the event's coming up September 18th.
Correct.
8 a.m. start. Where do they start at? What's the route? What's all those
Okay,
details?
I just want to show this poster too. This is this year's poster, and this is our cycling group. Usually I have a featured rider that we draw the year before that's our featured cyclist, but that gentleman from last year moved away. So I was going through my photos of last year's ride and came up with that one. And so this is a group out of Road and Trail in Highland City. And we are lucky enough now to be able to stage at Front Page Brewing Company. Before, it was in Fort Blount Park for the Blooming Bike Ride and on Central for the Tour de Toe. So now that we have the brewery, apparently cycling and beer seems to be a very well connect that I had no clue.
After cycling.
After cycling, yes, but yeah, so I think that's upped our ridership. But so now we're going to be staging at Front Page Brewing. And they're thrilled to have us. The cyclists come, and then they do their ride and come back, and of course there's lots of food for them. So this year we're doing something new. Friday night we're going to have early check-in. So Friday night will be if cyclists want to come, and I got this because at the Bloomin' Bike Ride, cyclists from Sarasota said, well, we want to come the night before and drink. And I'm like, okay, well, let me think about that. So they love the brewery so much that they wanted to come the night before. And I'm thinking, what am I thinking, Neal?
Heads and beds.
And beds.
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
right. I was
there
waiting
you
for
go.
you to get there.
You've trained me well. So.
Well, these events bring people in.
That's
they
right.
generate economic
yes.
impact.
Right, because it's just a one-day
right.
event. However, it's early, so and people come from all over the state of Florida. My registration allows me to have a heat map, a geographic heat map, and I'm always just shocked. Look, Miami, Daytona, Vero Beach, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Ocala, of course the West Coast, Sarasota, St. Pete. People come from all over, and it's a lot of these coastal areas where they don't have the luxury of scenic back roads that aren't heavily congested. So that's an amazing thing that we bring these people here from all over Central Florida to ride in both of these events.
Well, and to your point, there's been obviously a number of negative things associated with COVID.
Oh.
One of the positive things that has come from COVID is people returning back to the outdoors.
Yes.
So boating and RVing and cycling obviously leads
Cycling,
perfectly into this event.
The pandemic has created a bike boom globally.
Right.
So you can't even find bicycles in a lot of cities. Last year we did not cancel this event. We hemmed and hawed about it. What should we do? How are we going to be COVID safe? And we were COVID safe. We had masks, and they didn't ride with masks, but we had them before and after. And the thing about cycling and what we're learning through the pandemic is our health is important, and the better shape your body is in, the better your body can fight off any kind of illnesses. So our log line is creating a healthy lifestyle and a love for cycling, and that's been that, and now it's even more predominant and important given the event. But cycling is up, and it's not going to go away, apparently. People are enjoying the outdoors and getting in shape. And the Bloomin' Bike Ride had 202 people. That's the most it's ever had in a pandemic, even. So right now we're at 100 people for the Tour de Toe, and we'll probably get about another 75 to 100 next week, because they always wait till the last minute to sign up.
Awesome. Does so the Tour de Toe, does everyone do the same route? Is it the same distance for everyone, or are there different options?
Good question. So we have a family fun ride, and the family fun ride is about 15 miles, and it just goes down the old Homeland Road to the Mosaic Boardwalk, which is the county's beautiful. What is that face?
15 miles is a fun ride?
That's what I was thinking.
I don't drive 15 miles without being tired. Sorry, please
Yes.
go ahead.
Yes, no, 15 miles, and goes to the boardwalk, and then it comes back. So there's the short one. And then we have a 35-mile ride that goes out into the Lake Buffum area and Leland's Barn. I don't know if you're familiar with Leland's Barn. It's a very unique cowboy, country, orange grove,
Very cool.
eclectic barn that the cyclists just love as a rest stop. And then we have one that's further back out into the backcountry, and that's 63 miles. So we have 3 routes. We have sweepers that follow the last rider so that we don't lose anybody, and make sure that we have everybody in at the end of the ride, and it's a great day.
What's the route that goes from the brewery down to the chicken shack and back?
That's your route.
That's
your
that.
route.
We'll call that the Neal and Gerald route.
Oh, geez,
We'll show
Louise.
up and go this way. Everyone else goes this way.
That's
You
right.
two need to come try the family fun ride. I'm challenging you right now. You
Oh.
come back
15
to this
miles.
sports show and you talk about what a
Maybe-
great ride it was.
Maybe we can get 5 out of the office, and we can split it into 3 miles each.
Or you
Be a
can,
relay.
or
There
you can go to Whiz Cycle and you won't even have to pedal. You can just whiz.
Rad. There we go.
So registration, where do they register if they still want to be a part of the event?
Bartow Cycling Events Facebook page has all the information. They have a link to the registration site. Just do get tickets and it'll take you right there. it's not too late to do a mail-in. You can get the form. The PDF form is also on the Bartow Cycling Events Facebook page.
Can you register the day of?
You can register the day of, and like I said, the night before, you can come out and register.
The pre-party, yeah.
Right. Now, you won't get a shirt if you're not pre-registered, and people do love these shirts, so I quit ordering a bunch of extras because then I had a bunch of extras. And I was trying to be nice, but, and have, you know, oh, sure, you didn't register, but here you go. No, I'm not doing that anymore. So you can, the night before, 6 to 8, Front Page Brewing, come down and have some brews and bites and register, and then the next day at 7 a.m.
Fantastic.
I can't wait to see you there.
Okay, yeah. You have another event that's coming up a few weeks after that, the chalk event. Talk about that real quick. We've got probably 3-4 minutes.
Okay, good. The chalk event is an amazing art form. I was in Italy 10 years ago, and I had never seen this before, street painting with chalk. And that's actually where it started, about the 1600s, where artists would paint the Madonna with chalk on. I mean, that literally that long ago. So this art form's been transforming and progressing that long. And I took pictures of it, and it just always stuck with me how cool it was. And then Mark Jackson and you and I were in a meeting, and Mark had just come back from Italy, and he was going on and on about the street painting. And so I said, yes, I saw the same thing, and we need to do that here in Bartow. And lo and behold, in 2018, we did our first chalk event. I hooked up with a great chalk artist that was able to lead me through the process of getting artists and how to lay it out. And so 2018 was a great year. 2019, guess what happened? It rained. Poosh, it all went away. And I was like, no! So that was kind of sad. And then this year, we didn't have it last year. And then this year, we're back on October 2nd and 3rd. In Fort Blunt Park. So far we have about 20 artists, hoping to get a few more. And it's an amazing process. They come in with this picture and they have a grid system or they have no grid system. They block out their square. They'll put black tempera paint down to get a good solid black background surface. And then they spend 2 days chalking. And the reason it's 2 days for this event is because they're pretty in-depth and they don't get done in 8 hours. So they have the next day to come in and finish their work. We have a People's Choice Award, and then Grady Judd is usually here to judge, but he's got a prior commitment. Our presenting sponsor is Frost Law Firm, and he and his wife will come out and pick their favorite, so we'll have those 2 awards. It's amazing to watch the artists bring art to life. In a chalk form. So it's a great event for Polk County Cultural Arts event, and Bartow's so glad to have it.
You know, you'd probably need chalk if I rode the family bike ride, but you'd be chalking me for another reason.
No, I want you to.
You gonna do it, Gerald? Which one would you rather do? The family bike ride or try to go draw something with chalk?
The chalk would be bad, so I better do the biking.
You're gonna do the biking?
Yeah.
Can he still get in?
Yes.
Or do you have to be a professional to do the chalk
No.
event?
Well, no, you could be in the kids section.
Okay. That's where I need to be. That's probably where I need to be for the bike
That's
ride,
what we're
too.
trying to fight with the bike ride.
Yeah.
Or the non-professional section. Yeah. And you know, actually, there were some kids there last year, 2 years ago, that were doing that, and they were doing great stuff.
Well, Trish, we do appreciate all the hard work you put into actually all 3 of those events. And one last time for the Tour de Tow, where do they go to sign up?
Bartow Cycling Events Facebook page.
All right. That is, pre-party is on the September 17th at the Front Page Brewery, and then the event itself, the bike event, is starting at 8 a.m. on the 18th. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, a very cool event that took place, I believe it was at the RP Funding Center, was Repticon 2020. We've got some footage of that, and we'll come back for the local update. Gerald and Neal right here on Sports Central.
We've been around for almost 17 years, I think. We've come to the Lakeland show, it's our Fire Expo. We come once a year for several years now. which is it's a pretty popular show out here in Lakeland. So the focus of our event is to get reptiles to people. So we're a hugely retail-oriented show. You can purchase your animal here, you can purchase all of the supplies you need here, from food to cages, from the information you would need on how to take care of each different species. So it's a great way to introduce animals and reptile keeping to people, and also making sure that they have everything they would need for them. So our rules are very different from what they've been in previous years. This is how we've run it at every show since we've been back doing shows again for the past few months, where everybody's required to wear a face mask in order to enter. Our vendors have to wear them, our guests have to wear them, our staff has to wear them. We encourage the 6-foot social distancing. We have signs everywhere, wash your hands. We also have a certain capacity that we're allowed to let people in for. It's different from different venues, depends on what their capacity is. And once we hit that capacity, obviously we can't let people in. We have time slots set up, so that's how we kind of control that. So for 2 hours, they can come in as much as they want, check out everything they need, and then we'll ask them to leave, and then we'll let the next 2-hour group come in. Still a great time to come out and get reptiles. Whatever you might need for them, if you just need a new one, if you haven't had one before, it's still a great opportunity to come out and check them out.
Hello guys, welcome everybody. I'm Scott with Family Reptiles here in Lakeland, Florida, and we're here at the Repticon Fire Expo, Florida International Reptile Expo, here at the RP Funding Center. So it's a big giant reptile expo. We all have some fun, we're hanging out. We've got some tortoises, we've got bearded dragons, we've got all sorts of cool stuff out here today. We have, a ton full of vendors here selling products, different animals, things you can touch, things you can play with. This is a family-oriented, family fun event. So everybody gets to come out, have a good time. If you're a reptile enthusiast, there's lots of supplies and products here for you. If you're new to reptiles, you just want to come out and see some cool stuff, pet some alligators, have some fun, this is the place to be.
Welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Gerald Richardson. This last segment brought to us by the Staybridge Suites, great partners of tourism and sports marketing, and I'm trying very hard to keep it together right now. That was pretty funny. But some really great guests today, Gerald.
Yeah.
And Box Lacrosse, I know you're involved with that, and that event coming up. We definitely got to get out and see that.
Yeah,
because
it sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, and again, it's if you look at the diversity of events that take place at the RP Funding Center, it's unbelievable, between arts and cultural events, the events in the arena, meetings and conventions. And so Tony Camarillo and his whole crew, they do a great job over there of just flipping that building over and over to host all those.
Yeah. There's a lot of things there, and not just there at the county. I mean, all the different types of events and sporting events and that happen in Polk County is amazing.
Well, and I think the underlying message as well is, and we say it all the time, but these events don't just show up. They're recruited to Polk County. You take the assets you have, the inventory you have, and you match it with the event organizer. And we heard from the Box Lacrosse folks talking about how wonderful the RP Funding Center is for an event like this. So we're very excited for that. Of course, Tour de Toe. We just talked to Trish about the chalk walk. I would be offended if I were you that she put you in the kids art section, but that, you figure that out on your own. But
she knew where I needed to be.
We've got some other events coming up. Of course, we wish good luck to Southeastern. We talked to Coach about the Southeastern football team. But we actually today, Hallway Park Jamboree, as we're coming to you live on the 10th of September. But the Hallway Park Jamboree will be at Holloway Park.
Today and tomorrow. Tomorrow another event, the Sefner Christian Invitational right there at Holloway. So kind of back-to-back days with the events there at Holloway.
When you talk about, we talked to Trish about boating and cycling and RVing, and again, Holloway Park is perfectly suited, Circle B, perfectly suited for getting out, being part of either nature or exercising or doing both at the same time. But a great facility is Holloway Park.
Getting out, gone riding, Florida State Championships out at Lois Hart, mountain biking, another kind of one of those unique events. It's just not your basketball, football, baseball, mountain bike riding right here in Polk County.
Yeah, we also have Perfect Game Youth at Lake Myrtle Sports Park this weekend. Of course, last weekend, the Pan American Lacrosse Association held their 6v6 tournament, which is part of World Lacrosse, and they're pushed now that they've been accepted in the IOC to be an Olympic sport. Not sure which Olympics they're going to land in, but Polk County right at the forefront of that, Lake Myrtle right there at the forefront. Even though there were some weather issues, it was a great event and got it in, but it was neat to see all the different countries coming in and competing in that new sixes format. We also have some softball.
Yeah, USA softball be out at Diamondplex towards the end of the month. NSA softball also down at Bartow and Christina the 18th and 19th of September.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Florida Youth Soccer Association State Cup will be September 25th and 26th out there at Lake Myrtle. Looking forward to that. That's the first leg of the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championship Series, and it's the highest premier competition at the state level. So once again, blessed to be in Polk County. These events don't just show up, but a lot of relationships, a lot of recruitment over the years allow for that economic impact, but also that quality of life. Because of the recruitment of these organizations, the facilities that we have in Polk County that everyone can utilize, it's pretty good stuff.
And speaking of facilities, the beautiful brand new Advent Health Field House, 17th and 18th September, Jiu-Jitsu, Tap Out Cancer Jiu-Jitsu. So once again, going through our list here of the number of different events, types of events that are right here in our backyard.
When you talk about that event, third annual Central Florida charity event, and they're looking to raise $75,000 to go towards the battle of cancer. Yeah. So really appreciate them and their event. Really good stuff. But as you're getting used to the new position with sports marketing and all that, I think that maybe being on the outside looking in, you've even been surprised at the number of things that this county has to offer, as well as the amount of sports coming in, right?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, like you say, I've kind of worked with you guys a little bit in the past on some things, but now having the opportunity to be in the trenches, just the number of, like I was just saying, the different types of events from jiu-jitsu to box lacrosse, cycling, softball, baseball, I mean, you name it.
The Chalk Festival you're going to be
Chalk
competing
Festival.
in the kids.
Yep. So there's just a plethora of different opportunities right here, within a couple miles of wherever you live.
Yeah, and we've got some sponsors we want to thank.
Yeah, Office Furniture Depot, here in Lakeland with us, Hilton Garden Inn in Lakeland, Hollywood Window Tinting and Signs, Holiday Inn Winter Haven, and Lake Myrtle Dental.
Of course, you can tune into the sister show of Sports Central on Talk 96.7 every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. I don't know if you caught it last night. They actually did a fantasy football draft of the best players from Polk County. It was pretty entertaining. We'll definitely make sure that we get that posted or get on the WLKF website and check that out. But Jenna made me proud as a Bartow person. She took Ken Riley, the old Rattler. She took him at number one. First pick number overall.
And
that's right.
He's got to get somehow. It's unfortunate now that he's no longer with us,
right.
and it should have happened before he was gone. But getting into that Hall of Fame somehow.
Absolutely. If you want more information on events going on in Central Florida's Polk County, go to centralfloridasports.com or visit centralflorida.org. Or better yet, go to the Visitor Information Center 1/2 mile south of I-4 on Highway 27, and you can visit the new Water Ski Hall of Fame and Museum, or you can go to Polk County Sports Marketing Headquarters at Lake Myrtle for the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame Museum. So we've got it all here in Polk County.
We do. We really do.
All right. Well, the next live version of Sports Central will be on September 24th. Again, the websites, if you want more information, go to centralfloridasports.com or visit centralflorida.org, or give us a call at 863-551-4750. For Gerald Richardson, I'm Neal Duncan. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next time.